What we have right now is at approximately 4:30 this afternoon. Officers were talking to an individual, actually approached an individual up in Lincoln County in Hawk Point, Missouri, in reference to this particular missing persons case, this abduction. As officers approached this individual, he pulled out a gun and shot himself. At that point, he was transported for medical attention. I don't know his condition at this time. I really do not have that information. I can tell you, though, a bit more information. There was a dark-colored vehicle there at this residence, if you will. I can't get into any more detail other than that. I know we released a lot of details about that car, such as wheel covers and loud mufflers and things like that. But right now, that's considered evidence, that vehicle. But I will tell you, it's a dark-colored passenger car. Rick, you have anything else you want to add?
Well, you know, obviously 8 hours ago we had a press conference and we said we were going to work very hard with a lot of different law enforcement agencies, and we have. And we're still going to continue that investigation. This was an individual a person of interest, call him a suspect. It's an individual we wanted to talk to, and we can't at this point. So our investigation is going to continue. We need to get evidence from that vehicle, if there is any. We need to find out the actions and the whereabouts of this individual prior to him shooting himself. And we're not going to stop the investigation just because one of the individuals we wanted to talk to shot himself. We're still continuing this investigation. We still would entertain any leads or any information that someone wanted to call us, and it's still the same number at 889-2341.
We are taking your calls live, but now to Carrie Doyle. This is Alisa's aunt, also with her, Roy Harrison. This is Alisa's grandfather. To you, Carrie Doyle, when did you first learn Alisa had been found alive?
I would say I got the call around midnight. My youngest sister, Sarah, said a friend of hers said it. The information is going across the screen on the news, and she was very excited. I mean, I ran completely out the front door, saying, "You sure?" And then as soon as I was done, the next person in line I called was my dad to make sure he heard something.
You must have not really believed your ears when you first heard it, because do you know how many families out there with their child, their loved one missing, they dream about that call. They actually physically dream about getting that call, about getting a call that there's been a big mix-up, the baby's okay, the baby's been found, but you got that call. Joining us, in addition to Carrie Doyle, this is 4-year-old Alisa's aunt, is Roy Harrison. This is 4-year-old Alisa's grandfather. They are braving the elements. It is pouring rain there in Louisiana, Missouri, and they are joining us tonight because Alisa has been found alive. As we went to air tonight in the last moments, the alleged perpetrator has been shot dead. I want to go to Roy Harrison, Alisa's grandfather. Tell me about the moment that you found out Alisa was alive.
Well, I got a call that, from my daughter, her sitting right next to me, that they said that they'd found her. I wanted to verify. I couldn't get a hold of any of the law enforcement because obviously they were very busy and working hard. But I called Dave and Kimberly, Alisa's parents, and asked them, and they said yes, and it was her, because they had taken some pictures of her and sent the pictures up here to Louisiana and showed the pictures to them, and you couldn't miss the big brown eyes.
How was it that she was discovered? What have they told you about the car wash? It's 80 miles away. It was late at night. She was wandering around. Her hair was cut short. She got on a change of clothes. Who first spotted her?
Well, I don't know who first spotted her. Apparently there were a couple people right there at the car wash that had seen her get out of the car. That's all I know. Then the car took off, and they thought she was a young boy because this person had cut her hair off. But then once the police officers got there, they realized that they'd found Alisa.
Everyone joining us, Roy Harrison. This is Alisa's grandfather. What are they telling you about this perpetrator, Mr. Harrison?
Well, what they've told me that he was a person of interest, And they told me earlier when I talked to the highway patrol, they said that, or they relayed a message to me actually, that he was a person of interest, and they weren't going to name him as an actual suspect until they had more evidence.
And
More
let me ask you
stuff.
this. Is Alisa able to recount what happened to her?
She's a bright young girl. I've talked to the parents, her mom, Kimberly and Dave, on the phone, and they said that she has been talking to them a little bit. As to what she's relaying to everybody, we don't know.
Yeah.
They're staying down there close to the headquarters they have down in St. Louis, by St. Louis now, so that they're able to get people to her to talk to her.
To Dr. Karen Stark, psychologist joining us out of New York. Karen, a lot of times psychologists, shrinks, psychiatrists will tell the parents, don't ask the baby questions. Why?
Well, because if you actually ask questions, you won't get good answers out of a 4-year-old, Nancy. But it's not true. What you need to do is tell a story, to do something that's playful with her, and then you get better responses. So if you're talking about a little girl, somebody else who was taken away in a car, what could have happened to that little girl? That's how you do it.
Karen, when I would have child victims of a gamut of crimes, it doesn't matter what. A lot of times, I would take them, they'd go to my office, and we would draw pictures, and you wouldn't come right out and say anything suggestive at all. But you would just start talking to the child and draw pictures and kind of set up a scenario like you're saying without asking them, and the story would unfold. Let me ask you this, Karen. Everybody's speculating, was she molested, was she not molested? Bottom line is, she's alive, number one. That's the headline.
That's right.
But whatever occurred, whether she was molested or not molested, is there a chance that as she grows older, that this will all fade away in her memory?
Well, it really does depend on how this experience was for her, Nancy. If she were not molested, I think that it would fade away. What she might remember, of course, is all the attention that's being paid to it. She would have flashes, though. It wouldn't be a memory where it would have a real beginning and a real end. If she were molested, there is a chance that she might have some flashes of that. If she were younger than 4, I might say no, but 4, she might actually have some flashbacks.
She may, but there's a chance that she may not, right, Karen?
Yes,
as time
it's really
goes
hard
by?
to know. It's really hard to know.
If it's handled the right way.
That's the most important part, Nancy. You're absolutely right.
Well, okay, then tell me, how are you supposed to handle it? What's the right way to handle it?
Is to turn it into a story or play or drawing, like you said, and give it a nice, happy ending. And to turn it into something that she can absorb at this point as a good story, not a terrible story. So
I want to go back to Alisa's aunt, Karen Stark. As always, thank you. Dr. Stark joining us out of New York. To Carrie Doyle. Carrie, I want to thank you for being with us tonight and last night, for being with us and putting the word out to people about Alisa. Carrie, what are they telling you about? Yes. What are they telling you about this guy, this perpetrator that is now shot dead?
The only thing I know is I got the call. I was actually coming from St. Louis. Actually, when I got the call from my husband, I was actually picking up Alyssa's great-grandparents from California, bringing them to come visit and be with the family. But my husband called me, and he just said there was a suspect. He was either tried to commit suicide or he did commit suicide. I came straight to Louisiana, went to my aunt's house, we went to my grandma's, and then they started talking about it a little more in the news. So my information I'm getting is pretty much what you're getting off from the news. I haven't really had any contact of anybody telling me anything.
Everybody, you're seeing video beside Carrie Doyle there in the center of little Alisa being taken into the hospital. As you can see, her hair is cut short like a boy. She hasn't a change of clothes, but the headline is, she is alive. As we go to break, happy birthday to Tiny Crime Fighter.